Alright guys, so here we go again. What's up guys? Welcome to this installment of Mike's Vehicle Vlogs. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. It's about to storm, I think. I'm about to get rained on. So I'm going to try to kind of make this portion pretty quick without getting soaked. Here it is. This is my new project car. Something that I've always wanted since I was a very young child, like teenager, 13. I finally got it. This is a 2003 Pontiac Grand Am GT Coupe. And this will be our next project car for the channel. Let's have a look at it. So after all of these years, I finally got my Grand Am Coupe. And I wasn't settling for anything less than a GT. It had to be a GT. It didn't have to be a coupe. I was actually looking at quite a few of these, trying to find a few of these, and I ended up with the coupe. So this is an 03. The body has 118,000 miles on it. The engine was already replaced once, and there's a good chance that we may be replacing it again. That is going to be one of the major repairs for this car. She really isn't bad other than that. There's a few other things here and there that we're gonna have to do. But for the most part, it's not in all that bad a shape. You can see the rain's really starting to come down now. The sunroof is stuck open, and ironically enough, the rain is falling in that direction. I'll be quite honest, I don't know what the underside of the car looks like, but if it's only got 113,000 miles on it, it really shouldn't be that bad a shape, I would imagine. Nothing compared to what our Aztec was like. So there's the quick walk around. We'll take a look at some of the in-depth things that we're probably going to end up doing to this car. We have one new headlight assembly, newer headlight assembly. The other one is still pretty foggy, so we're probably going to find another headlight, something to match closer to that one. The license plate cover for the front bumper is with the car, and in Ohio we don't need front plates anymore, so that means I can actually use that, and it's going to look awesome. As we come down here, we have one fog light. The other fog light is in the car, I believe. She said she had it. It hasn't been put on yet, so we do have a fog light. It hit something, you can tell, because you know the bumper's kind of creased in here. The paint kind of cracked a little bit. It's not all that big a deal. You can see how it's kind of, you know, pushed up a little bit, and the fender kind of got crunched a little bit. It's causing the trim here to come off. We can fix that with some double-sided tape. Even if I don't get that fender pulled out, and I'm kind of hoping maybe I can, but if not, if we get some double-sided tape on there, it won't get in the way of the door, because you can only open the door so much, and I think this is what's stopping the door from opening completely. But if we can get that flush, maybe it'll be just fine. I got the 5-spoke wheels that I wanted. I think these are the painted ones. We are going to need tires. Judging from how bald they are around the outside, it looks like we might have some alignment issues going on, so we'll deal with that. Just the slightest bit of rust forming around here. Really isn't all too bad. I can probably still catch that with some touch-up paint if I can get some paint. We got some various, you know, scratches, and this looks like tape marks or something. But really, you know, if you look at it, it's not all too bad a shape. I'm not gonna lie though, I really wasn't too crazy about green. When I was looking for these, I was hoping to get red or black, even orange. The first one that I really wanted was an orange 4-door GT of the same year. Actually, no, I'm sorry, it was an 04. All it needed was a steering rack, and I inquired about that, but that person for weeks has never got back to me, and it's still sitting on the Facebook Marketplace. So this is Grand Am number 7 that I've looked at, and this is the one that I was able to actually go look at in person and bought. So on this side, actually there really isn't anything wrong with the back. There's this here. I think that'll come off with a wash. Back looks good. Around the corner here, see that molding's sticking out a little bit. Not that big a deal. Probably fix that. It was scuffed along the side, that's probably why. So, a little bit of paint missing there. Again, we got some various scratches here. The lower molding on this side is starting to come up, so I think this may need to be reapplied with some tape. I guess that's really all that held on to this from the factory was double-sided tape. So, and that's really it. The rest of this is pretty clean. I'm getting soaked. Luckily, we'll be inside soon. You can see the sunroof is open, yes. But it's jammed up. You can see the side, or the window, how one side's higher than the other. So something is wrong with the track, and I'm gonna have to figure out a way to fix that. But it's been open for a while. It has rained a lot, even after I've looked at this car, and the interior seems to be dry. So we'll try to open this now. This is what I'm talking about with the... Well, maybe it is catching on the actual fender. Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to have to try to figure out a way to pop this out somehow, but at least it's enough to get in. Now inside, the inside really isn't that bad for the age, you know. It needs a good cleaning, much like the the Aztec did. The dashboard really isn't curling up. A lot of these end up curling up either toward the windshield, which this one might a little bit, but not that big a deal, or they'll start curling up here. In time, this is probably going to start curling up. While I have it anyway. Yeah, you can see it a little bit. So it is coming up a little bit, but it's not that big a deal. Windshield is cracked, much like that of the Aztecs. So I'm not really concerned about that, as long as it doesn't leak. These seats are like a gray. I think this is called dark pewter. I never even honestly realized that there were different seat colors. I always thought they were just black, but dark pewter. There's our back seat. The seats do go down. I think the releases are in the trunk. Here's our front license plate cover. So we'll be putting that back on the front bumper at some point. Let's get in real quick. I honestly have not explored this car a whole lot. I just got home not that long ago with it, and so we're kind of going to do this together. Probably going to get rid of the steering wheel cover because I'm not a fan of steering wheel covers. It is a leather wrapped wheel. I don't know what it looks like underneath, but it doesn't look that bad. This is a GT, by the way. Grand Ams have several levels of trim. If you look in the brochure, there's an SE, at least for 2003, there's an SE, an SE1, an SE2, a GT, and GT1. GT1 obviously being the top of the line GT, where you get probably the leather and a couple of other goodies. This is just a GT, and you can tell this because our steering wheel doesn't have audio controls on the spokes. For 2003, that was only a GT1 feature. So this is just a GT. Nonetheless, I am still very excited to have a Grand Am GT. Door trim's good. We have our power locks, mirrors, windows. I think she said the power door doesn't work with this one, the lock. So you gotta lock it by manual. Just needs an actuator, so maybe that'll be something that we attack at some point. Let me get the keys. We do not have the original key. It is a aftermarket key, which isn't that big a deal. I probably will have a key made with the black rubber head on it. So, like I said, 118,458 miles on the body at least. Maybe the transmission too. I'm not going to start it yet because, well, you'll see why when we actually do start it. So we got cruise. I think the button is either broken or stuck. So, yeah, I feel like they don't want to move. So that'll probably be something that we replace. We'll probably find some new buttons for the cruise control. So we got our fog light controls, auto dimmer. I didn't check to see if all the illumination is there, but it looks like it is, so that's awesome. No burnt out bulbs on the cluster at least. That's good. As you can see though, we do have the burnt out stereo buttons. A typical Pontiac thing. So this one does have the Monsoon sound system with the CD and cassette player, which is awesome. It's kind of cool to have both. I don't know if the radio is on. There it is. I can't have the music up because of copyright. I had no idea what station we're on. Sounds like all the speakers work. No CD in it. I don't know if the CD player works. I don't know if the cassette player works. We might be looking for some new buttons because these are all worn out, as you can see. All the knobs are here, by the way. You see all these knobs? You can't find these with all the knobs all the time. So it sounds like our fan blower is on all speeds. It is still on hot. The air conditioning does not work. Vacuum actuated, sounds like. Cool. And they are coming out of the vents, so that's good. Alright. Cubby space, cup holders, leather shifter with the grip. I love the grip. Cup holder with some license plate screws. Storage console. Let me turn this off for now. In the glove box, I didn't even know if we have the manual. I think, yeah, we do have the manual. Cover's missing. Got some napkins. That's it. I have a whole 03 manual with my collection upstairs, actually. But good to know we do have a manual in here anyway. Like I said, it's got the sunroof. Oh, yeah. So I think what we're going to have to do, yeah, the track is, or the shade's even loose. What we're probably going to have to do is buy a whole new sunroof assembly, is my guess. We might have to go to the junkyard, pull an assembly, take the headliner down, and actually put a new one in there. Door light works. Both map lights also work. That's cool. Awesome. Something on this door doesn't work, I think she said, and now I don't remember what it was. So we'll get to that. I think it was the window. It's the window. Oh, I turned the key off. I took the key out. It is the window. So only the driver's side window works for now. Oh no, okay. It's the switch. We have a bad switch. Alright, that's what it was. So the window works. That works. It won't lock because the key's on, but... Alright, so good to know. Up here we have visors. These things always go bad. It's a little loose, yeah. Nice creaky visors. The trunk release doesn't work because the door skin was off at one time. She said it was never plugged back in. So that could be something for us to do. So to get into the trunk we need the key. Obviously the trunk needs a vacuuming. Not that big a deal. Spares in it. You can see it. Here's our release for the seat to go down. Got some wiring here. I wonder what that's for. It's coming off the speaker. Got several wires here. Huh. Somebody had something rewired. You can tell. Interesting. Well, we'll cross that bridge if we have any issues when we get to it. Sound like all the speakers work, so who knows. We need a reflector. Alright, so now the moment you guys have been waiting for. You guys want to know if it runs or not. Well, I'm going to tell you, yes, it does run. But it's not running very well. In fact, there is a chance that this engine here is complete junk. So obviously it's the 3400 V6, a 3.4 liter. Very famous engine in the GM world for several different reasons. On the Grand Am GT, it comes with ram air, which gives it an additional 5 horsepower, so it brings it up to 175 horsepower. This engine sounds like it's on its last leg. It definitely needs intake and head gaskets. As you can see, it is leaking really bad down there on the sides, and you can see it over here as well down in there. So head gaskets, intake gaskets, gone. It's done. It needs to be fixed. In fact, if you take a look at the oil cap, which is usually stuck if they're all gunked up like this one is. Yep. There's our magical concoction. So, contaminated oil thanks to the engine coolant, which the bottle's, I think, empty. Or close to empty. The low coolant light comes on. Yep, there it is, all that pudding. Yep, so it's gonna be another engine teardown, just like we had to do when I brought my Aztec home. Only, as you can see the writing and stuff, this is the second engine that has been in this car. So who knows if it was even really that good when it was put in. But I don't know if this engine's really gonna stay in this car. It is ticking quite loudly. If the bottom end isn't damaged, and I'm honestly going to have no way to tell if I'm going to be doing all the job here in my driveway. But I don't know if the bottom end is going to have any damage. If it doesn't, maybe this engine's salvageable. The ticking, to me anyway, from what I've heard so far, and I've only heard it run just very few times because I don't want to let it run for too long. But it sounds like it's coming more toward the top. So it could very well be, it could be lifter. A lifter could be fouled up because of the gunk in the oil. If that's the case, we can save the lower end as long as the engine didn't overheat too bad. We can do, save the heads if they're not warped. Maybe actually replace the cam and lifters. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that with the engine still in the car. Maybe. You got to get the oil pump off to remove the cam, because this is an oil or a cam-driven oil pump, and the oil pump runs at the bottom of the engine. The shaft runs up into the crankshaft, or camshaft, sorry. And I don't know if you can actually pull the cam out from the side of the engine if the oil pump's still hooked up. So that's what we're gonna have to figure out. I'm definitely, however, tearing into this motor at some point because I am so anxious to see what what is going on inside it with the sounds, and you guys seen all the the oil and whatnot. Oh, look at how full that is on that dipstick. Man, I'm surprised it's running as well as it is. It is way over full. That coolant is I mean, the max mark is all the way there. It is showing up here. That is not good. So yeah, she needs she's going to need attention almost immediately if this car, or if this engine wants to be saved. And like I said, I don't think it's going to happen. But regardless, we're going to do the whole thing again like we did with the Tech. We'll probably change out this vacuum hose to get the gunky oil out of it. Get another hose. This one probably may have some residue in it. New plugs. We'll do new wires. The coils are probably pretty decent, I'm assuming. It's not missing, strangely enough. What else? Okay, so the nice thing about this car, though, is there's work that has already been done compared to like when we bought the Aztec. When we bought the Aztec, there was a huge plume of stuff that needed to be replaced that was never mentioned. But on this car, there's a lot of things that has been replaced that we don't have to worry about right away. So you can see from the strut towers, we have stickers on these struts. These struts are newer. They were replaced not too long ago, like maybe within a year or so. I forget what she exactly said, but the stickers do tell me that they are newer struts. So our struts should be good for a while. The brake lines were done, and so was the master cylinder. So we got a whole new brake master cylinder set up also. Battery is brand new. It's an actual AC Delco battery. Side post, not as big a pain like that of the Aztec. Easy to get to battery. The alternator is newer. You can even really see that it looks newer. New brake pads. The rotors, I think she said, weren't done, but the brake pads were done not too long ago also. So yeah, there's stuff on here that we shouldn't have to worry about right away. I don't think anything was mentioned with the power steering or transmission lines. I don't know if those are original or not. Like I said, I don't know what the underside of the car looks like. The day that I went to go look at this car, it was raining and the ground was still wet, and I didn't really want to get down there. I tried to look under the doors to see if there was any rust, and they looked pretty good. But so I don't know what kind of surprises are going to lay under the car, but right now it really doesn't seem to be in too awful shape. So let me go ahead and start it up for you guys so you can hear what's going on. And obviously I cannot leave it run for too long because I don't want to cause any more damage than what is already there. The nice thing, however, is it does run, obviously, and it does drive. I pulled it into the driveway off the trailer. It goes into gear, and like I said, it moves. She was still driving it for a while, and yeah, so you guys want to hear how bad this sounds? Here we go. That definitely sounds like upper end noise. it off now. Oh well. Alright, so I think that's lifter. I think that's a lifter noise. I think that'd be a whole lot worse if it was a rod knock. But it runs. So maybe it is salvageable. Get a new cam and some new lifters and lobes, and maybe we can save the one that's in here. So yeah, I am really excited that I finally got my Grand Am after so many years of wanting one of these, and I just never really pursued to have it as a daily driver. And I think that's because, you know, for as old as they are now, you know, you never know what's going to happen with them. And I decided, even while I still had the Aztec, I decided that when it was time to get another project car, it was going to be a Grand Am. It's the perfect opportunity to, you know, kind of rebuild it and try to make it my own, much like I did, you know, the Aztec. I don't know if I'm really going to go all out with this one like I did with the Tech. It's going to be one of those things, like if I'm at the junkyard and I see that maybe one of these Grand Am GTs have nice leather seats, maybe I'll buy leather seats and we'll put the leather seats in them and put these ones away, you know, keep them for a while. So yeah, I mean, stuff like that. I don't know for sure if I'm going to go all out with that. Time will tell. Obviously, my main concern is going to be to try to get the engine repaired as fast as possible. Can't really guarantee when I'm going to be able to start on that. But in the meantime, there's other things to this thing that we can do to pass the time. I definitely want to try to figure out what's going on with the sunroof, because I really don't want this interior to get wet. I'm surprised it hasn't already. It's actually been in pretty decent shape in here. Doesn't look like there was any water entering. We definitely have to find another cover, apparently, because this thing is broke. So yeah, I have a feeling I might try to look at this and figure out if I can figure a way to get it to close, but I have a feeling that the track is broke and I'm probably gonna have to replace the whole sunroof assembly. Here's some weather stripping. So something happened. It's gonna need to be probably replaced. So, or does that slide on? No, I don't know. I think it slides on. Maybe it's falling off. Oh, yeah, it slides on. Okay. So, yeah. The radio. I want to keep the radio if it all works. I'll probably test it out once the camera's off, so I don't have any copyright issues. But I'll check to see if the radio's working. If it does work, we're going to take this out. We're going to try to, first of all, find some new buttons that don't have all the coating worn off of them. We'll try to find some new buttons. And we're also going to try to replace the bulbs on the backlight display, so that way the clock and the tracks and stations all light back up. So that'll be something for us to do. Maybe the door lock actuator on the driver's side door over here. So yeah, we're gonna find things to do, and eventually we're gonna tear that motor apart and we're going to figure out what's going on with it. But yeah, I think it sounds more like a top end tick rather than a bottom end, and maybe we can actually salvage it. I hope. So I think that's going to be it for today's vlog, guys. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. Another thing that we'll probably do too is find a remote, like we did with the Tech. We found a remote key fob, have it programmed, and then that way it's got keyless entry again, because the original remote is obviously gone. So that's it, guys. Welcome the 03 Pontiac Grand Am GT Coupe to the channel, and stick around. We're going to try to do what we can to get this thing as I don't know, I don't want to really say drivable now, because it does drive technically. You guys know what I mean though. We're gonna fix it up. So guys, if you enjoyed this vlog, give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. Also check out teespring.com/stores/Mike's Vehicle Spotlight for all of your MVS and vlog merchandise. I'm gonna go, the rain's starting to come back. And that's all I've got, so I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.